everyone. Welcome to our podcast series on breaking the cycle of bullying for our degree project on psychology in education. So, my name is Vivian, and we have my comrades here with me, Lavanya, Karen, and Kavita. As we zoom into the various form and environment of bullying, gain insights to more details on its differences and prevention strategies in educational setting. So now, ladies, remember those days at schools when bullying was pretty straightforward? And I'm sure one of you may have picked on each other in the past, maybe pushing each other on the hallway or maybe at the assembly. Or even you have that one schoolmate or one classmate of yours love making fun of people's look. Do you all have someone that is in the class that is similar like this before?
Yeah, I have that.
So I could still remember pretty vividly that back then I have these classmates always had the nickname on me, and that name is called SpongeBob SquarePants because I have a pretty square natural features, you see.
Yeah, that's very much relatable to me as well. My school friends used to bully me and call me with various nicknames only because I was a bookworm during those days. Sometimes people won't even have any specific reason to bully others, and I find it so weird sometimes.
Yeah, and do you even notice like back then in the past, cikgu, all the teachers and adults weren't even notice what was going on, and even if they do notice, right, they kind of not very sure how to even handle it.
Yeah, correct.
Exactly.
Yes, and I think like last time I just seen my cikgu, discipline teacher with the rotan, they would just be like, stop calling each other that, and that is pretty much it, and it pretty much went unnoticed, right? So I believe that is pretty much how bullying escalated in the past as well.
Correct.
So what do you think about the modern style of bullying? Kavita, do you have any idea on this?
Modern style of bullying, more likely, I would say, in through social media. These those keyboard
Cyberbullying.
warriors. Yeah, that's how they start nowadays. It's very common in social media. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, with all the social media, the technology out there, right, bullying became a little bit more sneakier and even went a little bit more anonymous. So, I guess cyberbullying on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, pretty much just really a click of a button, and it made it so easy for bullies to target people and start to spread hurtful things of a lot of other people. I think I recall back then there is this K-pop artist in Korea. They were both committed suicide due to those malicious comments netizen kind of left on their social media. I'm not sure, like Kuhara and Suli, I'm not sure if it is someone that is pretty familiar for you. I think those feelings and emotions kind of cause roller coaster rides and really mess up one person's self-esteem and their mental health. Imagine if this is happening to young adults or children, right? They probably do not know how to handle it, and most of their time, their parents might not even know what is going on here because no one follows parents and teachers on social media. Am I right?
Yeah, that is very true.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it is pretty important for every one of us to kind of have the awareness on all these different forms and types of bully, how it can actually affect other people and regardless of their background, age, or even status.
Yes, that is true, and very sad to hear about the K-pop star. Bullying can manifest in various forms and environment, including classroom, schoolyard, and online spaces as well. So, ladies, what do you think are the differences between these scenarios and how they contribute to the dynamics of bullying behavior?
I think bullying in a classroom can involve verbal harassment, social exclusion, and physical aggression. These disrupt the learning environment and negatively impact students' academic performance. However, people often don't realize that seemingly small action can deeply hurt other feelings. When this happens, bullying can escalate to a serious consequences. I don't know if you guys know there's this one teacher that does online advice to parents. Okay, she advised that parent be mindful of your own self because you don't want your child to be ashamed of you. There's one incident, meaning that the children has their own society, that their own level of society that you must be conscious, because the society, it's if you're too tall as a parent, you get make fun of. If too short, they'll make fun of the parent. If they're too
Yes.
fat, they'll make fun of the parent. They have this certain stage of society. What do you think, Kavita?
Yeah, I agree with that. Even in that case, Malaysia has seen its fair share of high profile bullying cases that actually have shocked the nation. These cases, right, reflect the need for more effective prevention measures and a strong support system to deal with bullying in Malaysia. And I personally think governments and educational institutions are now more focused on improving anti-bullying policies and providing protection and support to victims of bullying.
Absolutely. One case that comes to my mind is the tragic death of Naveen, 18-year-old boy who was brutally assaulted and killed by a group of teenage bullies in Penang, Malaysia back in 2017. The incident sparked outrage across the country and highlighted the severe consequences of bullying. But sadly, this is not an isolated incident in Malaysia. Just last year, we had the case of Navy cadet Zulfarhan Osman, who was tortured and killed by his colleagues.
Oh yeah, these cases were I would say very heartbreaking, to be honest. And now that as you mention it, I also recall there was this high profile incident where the bullying of Ain Husniza. She is actually a 17 years old student who pretty much stood up against an inappropriate joke about rape that the teacher made. So the teacher was like actually saying, quote unquote, if you want to rape someone, make sure they are above 18. And imagine this was said in front of a bunch of students, right? So she actually stood up and then she went against this injustice. What happened was she faced a super intense backlash whereby online harassment was madness. She handled it so nice and so inspired people because she stayed very strong, right? So now she's even an activist in Malaysia.
Yeah. In fact, I think bullying is not just a harmless act of teasing or name calling. It can actually have severe repercussions, as we have seen in some high profile cases in Malaysia. The relentless torment and abuse inflicted on victims can actually lead to lasting trauma and even tragic outcomes. In Malaysia, as in many other places, there have been high profile cases highlighting the grave consequences of unchecked bullying.
Yeah, it often begins with casual put downs or exclusion of a student seen as different. One of the most alarming aspects of bullying is how it can escalate to physical violence. As I mentioned earlier, in cases like the Naveen tragedy, we witness how relentless bullying and assault can result in severe injuries and, in the worst cases, even death. The details of this particular case just horrific, I tell you. Naveen was beaten with helmets, burned on his back, and sodomized with an object by 5 youths aged between 16 to 18 years only following a minor confrontation. He suffered severe internal bleeding and was left brain dead before passing away a few days later. It's absolutely sickening that such violence could be inflicted on someone over practically nothing. It's also very scary how bullying can escalate to physical violence real quick.
Yeah, it's very devastating to hear these details of these cases, Imagine sodomizing and stuff. Just by imagine it's already driving me crazy. And imagine the psychological impact on bullying shouldn't really be underestimated as well. Imagine if you're the victim, right? I believe if you have gone through this, and many at times you will definitely experience anxiety, depression, and I feel one will probably have a very low self-esteem as well as a result of this constant harassment, intimidation. People might be just pointing finger at the side without knowing the fact of what actually happened as well.
Exactly.
And all this can actually lead to a long-term emotional scar and mental health struggles. So just imagine, right, if it is you or me have to go through the same thing, it wouldn't be easy for anyone to overcome all this trauma on their own without getting any help from other people at times.
True.
Furthermore, the rising of cyberbullying has added another layer of complexity to the issue: the anonymity and the reach of the online platform that amplify harm by bullying. The victim faced 24/7 hours harassment and public humiliation that follows them beyond the school gates.
Yeah, it's crucial for us as a society to recognize the warning signs of escalating bullying behavior and intervene early to prevent further harm. Promoting empathy, respect, and zero tolerance for bullying creates safe environments for everyone to flourish without fear. Education, awareness, and proactive intervention are essential in preventing bullying and its tragic outcomes as well.
Well, folks, I think that pretty much wraps up our discussion for this episode on bullying. We have discussed quite a lot. We spoke a little bit about the cases that is in Malaysia. We spoke about the difference between the bullying in the past and even in the current society where technology involved. And we spoke a little bit about the consequences and how did this bullying escalated. But honestly speaking, there are so many different types of bullying out there that we might not even aware of. And today we merely covered even 10% of them with the physical bullying and cyberbullying. I would say our journey is still far from being over. So in our next episode, we're going to dive headfirst into the effect of bullying on both the person being bullied, which is the victim, and also the one that is doing the bully, the perpetrator. So trust me, you won't want to miss it. So stick around, join us for our next episode. It is going to be eye-opening. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.